Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So we have got two chain problems left, and after that doubts, right? So we have got two chain problems left, and after that HCV doubts you will take, no?
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
Then assignment and then book.
Then assignment done.
right.
So tomorrow also we have a doubt left.
So did you get to know about how much portion of COM will come in NT?
MT, you will have only COM,
No collisions.
no collisions.
Okay, sir.
So, did you verify the shortcut?
You're taking net total momentum in the upward direction of both the blocks on both sides, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. वो clockwise, anti-clockwise, man.
तो गलत है यार देखा है मैंने but I couldn't find the second mistake which you are committing because of which you are getting the answer. Because there is an external force called 2T acting on it and mg acting on it. You cannot conserve momentum for both in one direction.
Sir, it doesn't make sense why in every single question I'm getting the answer with that. मतलब that would be too big a coincidence, no?
It won't be. There will be something else that we are doing which is balancing them. It will not be a coincidence. Physics has not many coincidences to happen. It will have very few. Every coincidence should be explained. Let me see. Give me some more time. I'll have a look at it once again.
Good afternoon, sir.
So after the two chain problems, what will we do?
We have one
Assignment
more
or
board
HCV?
JEE question which has to be solved.
Okay, sir.
Right. Then we start the doubts.
Of HCV assignment.
Yes, sir. Can you start with HCV?
Yeah, we'll start with HC. Now listen. One chain problem is the last exercise problem of your booklet, if I am right. The chain problem, one of them is the last exercise problem of your booklet. In your booklet, they asked you to find it out as a function of y. Here I am asking you to find out for whole of the length. No big deal. I'll tell you what the difference is. This is the heap of a chain. And you're pulling this with a force of P. The heap of the chain is kept on the ground. This is of distance y. Lambda is mass per unit length. Right? You're pulling this in the upward direction with a force of P. They ask you find P as a function of y. So that the wire is moving with chain is moving with constant velocity. V is constant. V is constant. Find P as a function of y. P is the force applied. P is the force applied. So first bit is quite easy. All of you will be able to solve. It won't be a big deal. The force for which the chain is moving with uniform velocity. Have a look at it. This is the force that you are applying. Weight of the chain will act as lambda y into g. Do you agree with that? This is the weight of the chain in the downward direction.
Yes, sir.
MG, yes.
Now have a look at this. One small element of the chain dm, which was at rest, suddenly started moving. one small element of the chain DM which was at rest suddenly started moving. There is a change in momentum.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there will be a thrust force.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now I know the value of thrust force is lambda v squared. But direction, there are two ways which I told you. One, this mass is increasing. Y is increasing. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mass is increasing. Thrust force on this will be in the direction of VR.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Three, thrust force will be in the direction of VR.
Yes, sir.
For a person standing here, he will see the small element dm going in the downward direction.
Yes, sir.
For a person standing here, that dm element was at rest. He is moving upwards with a constant velocity v. So he will see the small element dm going in the downward direction. So according to him, thrust force will be in the downward direction. Right? One way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it, I will go from the fundamental concept here. I don't want to remember all this. Welcome. DM element, which is at rest, suddenly started moving upwards. That means acceleration on the small element DM is in
Upward
Upward
direction.
Upward direction.
so force on DM is in
Upward direction.
Upward direction.
reaction of that on this part of the chain will be in
Downward direction.
Downward.
logical, and is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now this force will be lambda y into g plus lambda v squared. No big deal. This is a very small thing for anybody to solve. Agree?
Yes, sir.
But then there is a second part for this question. If you people recollect, the reverse of this we did. On a table, there was a hole and a heap of a chain, and the chain was falling.
Yes, sir.
Told me that day that energy cannot be conserved.
हाँ, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. क्योंकि बहुत अजीब
Same
forces है.
example like that. Uska reverse hai. That means
Uh-huh.
here also I cannot conserve energy. Energy is not conserved. What is your logic for that? This is an inelastic collision. A small element at rest suddenly starts moving is inelastic collision. I cannot conserve energy. This is what you said. So that means energy is not conserved. Can you calculate the energy loss and show me? I'll be very happy and convinced that energy is not conserved. Calculate the energy loss and show it to me. I will be 100% convinced then that this is an inelastic collision. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am asking you energy loss for lifting the complete chain. In your booklet, they ask you energy loss when the chain is picked up from 0 to y. Only limits will change. That's all. I don't want to solve exactly the same problem as that of the booklet, so that I leave that as practice for you. What I am solving is work done in lifting the complete chain. Energy loss in lifting the complete chain. In lifting the complete chain. This is what you are asking me. That means limits will not be 0 to y. It will be 0 to L. L is the total length of the chain. Right? How do I justify this? Have a look at it. Work done by the external source. Work done by the external force. Minus increase in total mechanical energy. Do you agree with this? If energy were conserved, work done by the external force would have been equal to the increase in total mechanical energy. I told you energy is not conserved. Work done by the source minus increase in total mechanical energy will be the energy loss. Then I will be convinced that energy is not conserved. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Integral of P dy 0 to L. P dy 0 to L Increase in total mechanical energy is delta P plus delta K. Increase in potential energy plus increase in kinetic energy. Right? Total work done minus increase in total mechanical energy is the energy lost. This step, are you people convinced?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now P, I calculate from here. I'm running short of space here. I'll write here. Okay. Continuation of this is in this box. Right? Energy loss. Energy loss will be integral of P is lambda Gy dy plus lambda V square dy 0 12 0 12 minus. Now by the way, this P into dy I substituted. My limits are from 0 to L. When you solve in the booklet, your limits will be from 0 to Y. No big deal.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second, increase in potential energy when the complete chain, initially whole of the chain was on the ground. Now when the complete chain is standing vertically, lambda L is the mass G into L by 2. This is the increase in potential energy. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Center of
Yes,
mass.
sir.
Plus half lambda L into V square. Hey, why? How is this the increase in kinetic energy here? Initially, whole of the chain was at rest on the ground. You picked it up and the chain is moving with constant velocity. So whole of the chain is moving with constant velocity.
Constant
Half
velocity.
lambda L into V square.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So this will be the work done by the external source. This is the increase in mechanical energy. Loss of energy. I am sure you will be able to simplify this. Integral y dy, integral y 0 to L, substitute and subtract this and tell me how much are you getting. You should be getting half lambda L into V square because that's the answer. I didn't do the simplification of this step. Do and make sure that you're getting this answer.
So can you explain again why energy loss is equal to work done by external force minus
Tell
increase in
me
P and V?
according to you what should be the energy loss. आप दिमाग लगा के बता दीजिए what should be energy loss according to you. Somebody is doing work on it. If that work didn't go into the total mechanical energy, the balance will be lost. But according to you, what will be the equation?
So the one you wrote.
उल्लू बना रहे हो यार, टाइम पास कर रहे हो. देखो, work done should go into total mechanical energy. If it is not equal, balance is lost in the form of energy or heat or anything. Solve that and make sure that you're getting the answer.
Yes, sir. We are making that.
Yes, sir. Same answer.
So there is energy loss. So that means it is an inelastic collision. So conservation of energy is not permitted in this sort of a problems where a small element which is at rest suddenly starts moving. Whether the heap is up and chain is falling down, or the heap is down and chain is going up.
सर इसके बाद एक और क्वेश्चन है कि दो क्वेश्चन है?
1 second, wait. Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
1 minute.
Sorry, in HSC they removed entire calculus from physics only. HSC syllabus.
Yeah, yesterday only the flagship batch kids were telling me that.
So what? Sorry.
सर उसके बिना कैसे होगा फिजिक्स?
पता नहीं, पूरा calculus निकाल दिया.
तो कैसे?
उनको पता है कि that you people have already learned calculus in the JEE syllabus. So
तो
it
वो
makes no
अलग बात
difference.
है ना.
Why
We
will they
also
be?
have a duty to teach.
Sir, have they removed it
But
like for the
the
entire
people
HSC
who
or
are
only for
for
our?
आप
HSC,
लोग
they
ऐसा
will
बात
be
कर रहे हो, सुनो, आप लोग ऐसा बात कर रहे हो कि अगर वो लोग रखेंगे और कंडक्ट करेंगे वो क्लास तुम लोग अटेंड करेंगे.
सर कर लेंगे ना, ऐसा नहीं करेंगे.
the word people who are pure HSC, then they will
वो
be in
लोग
trouble.
निकाल दिया, हद हो गई यार. अब ये तो पॉलिटिक्स हो गया, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का. वो लोग रखेंगे तो भी कंप्लेंट करेंगे, निकाल देंगे तो भी कंप्लेंट करेंगे. अब ये तो बीजेपी और कांग्रेस ने
Congress.
Sir, I was asking, have they removed it for the entire of HSC or only for our college exams?
कॉलेज
नहीं, पूरा HSC.
अच्छा हाँ, that makes sense.
Syllabus reduction में था.
बट 11th का सिलेबस डजंट कम इन 12th बोर्ड्स. 12th बोर्ड्स में 12th का सिलेबस ही आएगा.
सर लेकिन वो बाइफोकेटेड है ना, आपने बोला था.
आपने बोला
Sir,
आधा में वो
They got it
split है.
Sir, एक
Either way, you will
request.
learn calculus to a much greater extent in mathematics, and you have learned much to an extent in physics. Sir.
Yes.
So for you, it makes no difference whether it's there in the college syllabus or not.
Sir, एक request है.
So sweet of you. हुकुम कीजिए.
सर एक बिटकॉइन चाहिए ध्रुव को.
सर एमटी के बाद सर एक दिन की हॉलीडे मिल सकती है, मतलब
Yes sir.
सर
Please.
ये सबका रिक्वेस्ट है. Monday we
No,
need
one
a
day.
Monday.
Sir, please.
मंडे.
Okay.
Thank you sir.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.
Monday छुट्टी चाहिए.
हाँ सर.
Yes sir. Yes sir. Yes sir.
For
The full day
can we
holiday.
expect a
Not
holiday
only
on
for physics.
26th?
Fine, fine. I'll keep Gautam
अरे एक
informed.
मिनट.
मगर एमटी के बाद एक दिन छुट्टी क्यों? जनरली पहले पूछते हो ना यार आप लोग.
अरे नहीं, बात सर हम लोग को रिलैक्स करना रहता है ना.
सर एक दिन
तो
थोड़ा सर अभी सर रोटेशनल के लिए थोड़ा और फोकस हो सकते हैं,
सिर्फ
वरना
पूछने जाओ तो हम
थोड़ा-
6 दिन कंटिन्यू क्लास में बैठे हैं.
सर पहले स्ट्रेस मतलब
इंडिया तब सर
पढ़ेगा
इंडिया.
ओके ओके, I'll convey it to Gautam. Not
Thank
an
you, sir.
issue. एक दिन के लिए कुछ ज्यादा दिक्कत है नहीं.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you.
Listen. This is a horizontal rough floor, a typical problem picked up from 200 puzzling problems in physics. Right? Cambridge University Press by author Gnandig, Gnandig. There is a carpet kept on this particular floor. Carpet. What is kept?
Carpet.
And then you bend the carpet and you start moving it this way. with uniform speed. You bend the carpet and start moving it this way with uniform speed. Are you able to visualize?
Yes, sir.
The carpet doesn't slip. Here it is sufficiently rough. Originally, the carpet is kept this way. Originally, the carpet is kept this way. Now it is bent and it is turned in this way. Now this is bent and it is turned. You are pulling it with a force of F. Here dotted line, because this carpet you bent here means here there is no carpet now.
Yes, sir.
First question that they asked is find F to be applied for the carpet to move with uniform speed u. The carpet is moving with a uniform speed u. First question is find force to be applied for the carpet to move with uniform speed. So second question is velocity of center of mass of moving part of the carpet. Moving part of carpet. There is actually a third question which I don't want to give at this stage because that will unnecessarily lead to confusion. But solve these two first. There is a well-laid trap. There is a well-laid trap in it.
सर लैम्डा वो सब दिया है क्या?
Lambda is mass per unit length. You can assume lambda to be mass per unit length. Mass per unit length. This is the total length of the car. Carpet बोल रहे हो area define करना है यार. Doesn't matter. Area will get cancelled out both in the numerator and denominator. So take lambda to be mass per unit length. The lower surface, the floor and the carpet is sufficiently rough to prevent slipping between the carpet and the floor. Carpet doesn't slip on the floor. Now listen. First
Yes, sir.
thing that will strike to you people is, I'll split this here. Can I rub the lower part of the question?
Yes, sir.
You will split this here. There is a small element dm which is at rest which suddenly starts moving. So there is a thrust force. There is a small element dm which is at rest which suddenly started moving. There is a thrust force, and decide the direction of thrust force, it will be in the backward direction.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because the small element has a force in this direction.
And its reaction is backward.
Reaction is in on this particular part of the chain is in the backward direction. No, I'll remove L. I'll call this distance to be x. Then this distance will be x. This distance is y. See, जितना कारपेट यहाँ से उठाया आपने उतना कारपेट यहाँ पर हो. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
जितना कारपेट यहाँ से उठाया उतना कारपेट यहाँ पर होगा. So if this is x, this will be x. So far, so good. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yes.
I am taking this as the origin. F will be equal to the thrust force, which will be equal to U dm by dt. This is what you derive. I am not carrying a negative sign because I took it in the direction. F plus Ft is equal to 0 nahi likh raha. F is equal to Ft matlab Ft and F are not in the same direction, which I already know. So far, so good. Yes,
Yes,
or no?
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Here is the catch. Students mistake this to be lambda v square. They directly write it as lambda u square. This will be
Yes,
wrong.
sir.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Why? Because this is d by dt of lambda x. What is this mass here? Free body diagram किसका draw कर रहे हो आप? इस part of the chain का draw कर रहे हो.
हाँ, sir.
Not chain carpet. So it is lambda x. U lambda dx by dt. U lambda dx by dt is u by 2. ये क्या लिखा है तूने? dx by dt u by 2 कैसा हो गया? dx by dt should be u. It is not. That is the catch in it. Observe this carefully. What is the length of the carpet? 2x plus y. Do you agree with that? X, and y.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
Length of the carpet will remain constant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
dl by dt is 2 times dx by dt plus dy by dt. dl by dt is 0. Why?
Constant.
0 is equal to 2 times dx by dt plus dy by dt. dy by dt with a negative sign, or how many times will I do that? 0 is equal to 2 dx by dt. dy by dt will be u because this end is fixed. The carpet is not
Yes, sir.
moving. So the rate at which this is decreasing will be velocity, but with a negative sign because y is decreasing. Recollect, in calculus we learned this. This distance
sir.
is x, this distance is y. dx by dt will be the speed of this end.
Yes, sir.
The other end is fixed. Now your other end is fixed. U is dy by dt. U is dy by dt, but with a negative sign. So dx by dt कितना हो रहा है? U by 2. So the key catch is lambda u square by 2. Same problem if I make it vertical, you will be able to visualize it very easy. Same problem, dx by dt is the velocity of this. This is the origin, velocity of this point. You will be able to visualize it very easily. Horizontal visualization becomes difficult. I'll show you both, but first of all, I'll have to calculate velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass is d by dt of xcm. This is the origin. What is the center of mass of this? X plus x by 2.
Yes, sir.
d by dt of x plus x by 2. Do you agree with this? X plus x by 2. This is d by dt of 3x by 2. This is 3 by 2 into dx by dt. How much did you derive dx by dt as?
3
by
by
2.
2
Into u by
u
2.
by 2.
3u by 4 is the velocity of center of mass of the moving part. Velocity of center of mass of moving part. Same problem I'll draw vertically. You will see the ease with which you can visualize that dx by dt is u by 2. Here you had to go through mathematics. There directly you will be able to see that it is a u by 2.
So,
Hmm.
so can you repeat how dy by dt is minus u?
This point is fixed.
Yes, sir.
This point is approaching. The rate of decrease dy by dt will be the velocity with which this point is approaching this.
So, but that point is fixed, right? So that then how will that decrease?
This point is fixed. This point is approaching that point. So this distance is decreasing, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
At what speed will it decrease at u?
Minus u, yes, sir.
Minus because it is decreasing.
Yes, sir.
dy by dt.
All right, so but then the question it was says it doesn't.
And this is fixed. If this end is moving to the right with a velocity of u, this is x, dx by dt will be u, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what we use here. This end is fixed. This is not moving. So dy by dt will be u.
Okay, so but it was said in the question that the carpet does not move on the ground, right?
Does not slip.
Carpet doesn't move on the ground, that's right. This part doesn't slip. This is moving to the right with the velocity of u, upper part. देखा है मैंने आप सो रहे थे. Lower part doesn't move. The upper part is moving this way. So upper part का velocity is u. Upper part का velocity is u. This point is it clear to all? Question that
Yes,
sir.
sir.
you didn't
Yes,
even
sir.
understand the question.
नहीं सर अपर पार्ट का वो समझा सर.
So this distance is y. What is the problem in understanding dy by dt is minus u? Tell me when I can rub the board.
Sir,
Hmm.
so can you again explain the velocity of center of mass? The first equation.
Center of mass from the origin is how much? X plus x by 2.
Yes, sir.
Moving part ka center of mass is it x by 2 plus x from the origin, right?
Yes, sir.
Differentiated that much.
Okay, sir.
Dx by dt I put as u by 2. All of the key catch in the problem is dx by dt, which is u by 2.
So can you explain the direction of the thrust force again?
आप लोग मजाक कर रहे हो यार. You tell me how will you decide the direction of thrust force? Which procedure?
So you find out direction of relative velocity and you check if mass is increasing or
With
decreasing.
respect to this change, you're drawing the free body diagram for this part of the carpet, right?
Yes, sir.
So with respect to this element which is at rest will appear to move backwards,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
This mass is increasing,
Yes, sir. It's increasing.
so the thrust force will be in the direction of VR.
Okay, sir. Understood. So can you point out exactly where we are taking that DM on the carpet? Which exact
A
point?
small element which just started moving. This is DM, which just started moving.
Okay, so it will appear it's going leftwards, the velocity relative.
For this carpet which is moving to the right, the element which is at rest will appear to move in
Yes,
the
sir.
backward direction.
Backwards direction.
Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
This problem, when I make it vertical, you will see dx by dt as u by 2 in a much simpler way. If this is a chain hanging like this chain is released from here. This chain is released from the right end. Lambda is mass per unit length. You are asking me for the tension here. You are asking me for the tension here. Initially, you will feel it is the weight of this chain. This distance is given as x. When it fell by a distance of x, are you people listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It fell by a distance of x. At that instant, you want the tension here. So, what is the length on this side? L by 2 plus x by 2. Why x by 2? When this came down by x, this came down by x. This x will be shared by x by 2 and x by 2.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you are able to see x by 2 very easily.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Understood.
sir.
When this came down by x, that x length is shared on both sides. So this will be x by 2 and x by 2. So the lower end is coming down by x by 2 when this comes down by x. So tension will be equal to lambda L by 2 plus x by 2 into g. This is the weight of the chain here. Plus lambda u dm by dt. U dm by dt, thrust force.
Thrust.
What is the thrust force here? A small element which is moving with a velocity, it goes to the other side and it will immediately come to rest. A small element which is moving with certain velocity here goes to the other side and instantaneously come to rest. Is there a change in momentum?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Will be change in force?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there is a force. That force is the thrust force.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lambda dx by dt. Now dx by dt, you know, is u by 2. So I'll put lambda u square by 2. This is the force exerted here. Mainly this example is taken for you to understand that if this comes down by x, right hand side part of the chain will increase by x by 2, left hand by x by 2. So this end point is moving by a distance of x by 2. That visualization is important. Previous case we had to prove mathematically, here we are able to see directly. And why is there, other than weight, there is something else, thrust force. Why is there a thrust force? This element is moving with some velocity. It comes to the other side, immediately it comes to rest. Change in momentum exists. Hence, there is a thrust force, Ft. Direction of thrust force on the left part of the chain will be in downward direction. Why? Because this dm, which is moving downwards, came to rest. So on the small element dm, force is in upward direction. Reaction of that on this chain will be in downward direction. dmy is force upward direction. It was moving downwards, it came to rest. It was moving downwards, it came to rest. That means thrust force on dm was in
Upward direction.
reaction of that on this chain will be in
Downward.
Downward.
that is added up to the weight.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, when that comes down by x, the below part right hand side, it should come down extended by x, right? How x by
Then the
2?
length will become 2x no yaar. Till here लोगे, when this came down by x, अगर a भी x है, they भी x है,
Yes, sir. So not
not possible. So if this comes down by x, this should be x by 2 and
x by. Okay, sir.
Sir, can you explain the direction of thrust force using the other method?
other method. This you're drawing the free body diagram for this part of the chain.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
This part of the chain mass is increasing.
Increasing,
So
sir.
thrust force will be in
In
the
direction.
direction of
Relative
VR.
velocity.
Now somebody is standing here, is seeing this chain going in downward direction. The element dm, according to him, is going with a relative velocity VR in the downward direction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So mass
Thrust
is
force
increasing,
along
thrust
the.
force is in the direction of VR.
Yes, sir.
Ft will be in the downward direction.
So can you show the proving in this case that the thrust force will be lambda u square by 2?
What did I do in the previous case? Exactly the same thing. Write down the same dx by dt. Take this as the origin. This is x. L is length of the chain. Same thing I'll have to write again. L is equal to y plus 2x. Differentiate. Can I rub the board?
So 1 minute.
Somewhere in 1985, JE asked one question which partially appears as though it is from variable mass. It's not. It's a direct conservation of linear momentum, straight hit linear momentum. It appears as though it is from variable mass. You don't need to know variable mass. It is direct conservation of linear momentum. Solve this question. This was asked in 1985. There is a cylinder entering into a boundary with dust particles. There is a cylinder entering into a boundary with dust particles. Mass of the cylinder is 10 raised to minus 2 kg. Solid cylinder of mass. Area of cross section 10 raised to minus 4 meters square. It is entering with a speed of 10 raised to 3 meters per second. It is given a velocity of this. There is no external force. You gave a velocity and you released. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
At t equal to 0, dust particles are of density 10 raised to minus 3 kg per meter cube. What is the density of dust particles? 10 raised to minus 3 kg per meter. Assume that dust particles collide with the front face of the cylinder and sticks to the face. Dust particles stick to the face of the cylinder. If they stick, what kind of collision is it?
Perfectly
Inelastic.
inelastic.
Inelastic collision, right? Because the dust particles are sticking, don't assume cylinder ka shape is changing. Cylinder shape assumed to be cylindrical all throughout. Right? Find the x coordinate of the front face of the cylinder after 150 seconds. Find x coordinate of the front face of the cylinder after t equal to 150 seconds. At the first glance, the question appears as though it is from variable mass. Technically, it has got nothing much to do with variable mass. You gave a velocity and release. There is no external force. What should you do?
Conserve
The momentum.
Solve using that.
So here the dust only sticks to the circular part, right?
The dust particles don't stick to the cylindrical part. The dust particles stick only to the face of the cylinder, the circular face of the cylinder.
And so the length is not given, so we don't have to assume the second circular face coming in, right?
Right.
Sir, physics के idealizations of the questions God level के होते हैं.
इस सिचुएशन में
हाँ sir.
इस सिचुएशन में quite obvious because see you are saying that because the other student asked if the length of the cylinder can be considered to be infinity, so we don't need to take the sticking of the particles, right?
Yeah, sir.
If it were not, as this goes in, particles will not stick to the other face and produce any change in momentum, right? They are not colliding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cylinder is moving back forward. Particles, even if they stick, there is no change in momentum for the cylinder.
Yes, sir.
Sir, that area is of circular path, right?
Yeah. Area is for the circular path.
सर
Hmm.
सर x में क्वाड्रेटिक आता है ना?
Right. You get a
Sorry.
quadratic equation in X.
Sir, the coefficient of that x square term is very, very, very small. So can we neglect that?
अरे नहीं वेगा a into rho आएगा ना.
Sir, I'm getting 10 to the power, why, sir, I'm getting 10 to the power minus 7 upon 2 as the coefficient of x square.
Yeah, keep that because the answer is 10, x is 10 raised to 5 meters.
Okay, sir, yeah, fine, yeah, sir, I understood. हाँ sir, those two things will cancel out each other, तो वो भी significant हो जाएगा.
Somebody typed 1.5 into 10 raised to 5. Answer given is 10 raised to 5. A. Naturally, 1.5 or 1 into 10 raised to 5 is 10 raised to 5.
सर एक सेकंड सर, एक मिनट दीजिए सर और.
Okay.
हाँ यार सर, 10 raised to 5 ही आ रहा है.
Your initial momentum is m naught into u. M naught is this, u is this. No big deal. As this is moving inside, the momentum will be m naught plus a into rho into x, a into x into rho, a into x into rho. This is the mass plus m naught. This into v. M naught is the mass of the cylinder. How much dust is accumulating on this? If this traveled a distance of x, the dust particle involved in that particular volume is Ax into rho. Do you agree with that? Initial momentum, final momentum I equated here. Why is the velocity changing? Because the mass is changing.
Yes.
Why is the velocity changing? Because the mass is changing. So far, so good. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Naught is 10 raised to minus 2. U is 10 raised to 3. M naught is 10 raised to minus 2 plus A is 10 raised to minus 4 into density is 10 raised to minus 3 into x into dx by dt. V I write as dx by dt. Obviously, because it's not a constant. As x is increasing, velocity is decreasing. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Now this is 10 raised to 1. 10 raised to minus 2 plus x into 10 raised to minus 7 into dx by dt. Bring dt to the right and integrate. 10 dt 10 raised to minus 2 into dx plus 10 raised to minus 7 into x dx. At x equal to 0, time was 0. At x equal to x, I want 150 seconds. 10 into 150 is 10 raised to minus 2 into x plus 10 raised to minus 7 into x squared by 2. This is a quadratic equation in x. Solving that should not be difficult for you people. Answer given is 10 raised to 5 meters.
So was this asked in the JEE subjective phase or the
Subject to 85 there was no objective in any entrance. Purely subjective. Every step carried marks. You write this one step and leave it, you would get 2 marks.
2 marks?
2 marks. First step is the most important. That means you know the concept.
Gotcha.
Simplification is to get lesser weightage anytime.
Sir, shouldn't v be minus dx by dt? Because as x is increasing, v is decreasing, right?
If x is decreasing, dx by dt will be negative.
Yes, sir.
Calculus need to be introduced for you.
अरे नहीं sir, वो थोड़ा है.
X is increasing. Dx by dt is positive. X is decreasing.
हाँ सर समझ.
रिलेटिव सर ये
अभी
पढ़ा है
याद आ रहा है कैलकुलस में अपने ग्राफ
तो
बताते
इसे
हैं
लगा होगा कि जैसे जा रहा है तो और कोलिजन हो रहा है तो वेलोसिटी कम हो रहा है उसका शायद से.
अब v से कुछ लेना देना है ही नहीं मुझे. आपको जो वैल्यू v का फर्दर dv by dt अगर लोगे तब सोचूंगा v इंक्रीजिंग और डिक्रीजिंग. x is
हाँ सर
increasing,
वो
dx by dt
v
is
के
positive.
उससे था क्योंकि जैसे जैसे बढ़ेगा वैसे कम.
हाँ. Now that the first instance when people look at it, they assume this is variable mass. Huh? No concept of variable mass is used, but you can use if you want. This change in momentum by time is thrust force. देख लो आप लोग. अगर कोई, what is the thrust force exerted by this change in momentum? Delta P by delta T is will be the thrust force. First starting of variable mass, the derivation that I get. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Right? Divided
Yes,
by V. What will you get here? This will be dx by dt will be V.
yes sir.
Rho A V
Yes.
square will be your thrust force. Thrust force is V dm by dt. V dm is rho A dx by dt. V rho A V rho A V square. Rho A V square dx by dt will be the thrust force. Change in momentum per unit time. ये फॉर्मूला क्यों डिराइव नहीं किया यार तूने हमारे लिए? फ्रॉम b dm by dt you took all throughout lambda only because you dealt with chain problems where there was density mass per unit volume. It will turn out to be rho A V square. b dm by dt. dm is density into volume. Volume is area of cross section into distance moved dx. dx by dt will be v rho A V square. Water coming out from a hose pipe, force exerted will be rho A V square. Water coming out from a hose pipe, force exerted is rho A V square. Exercise 1 of your booklet, you have a problem directly based on this.
So that we did by F is equal to dp by dt.
Right.
सर
हम्म,
सर जब आपने न्यूटन्स लॉज ऑफ मोशन में बोला था एक बार कि वी विल दिस व्हाट यू कॉल कंसीडर रोटेशन ऑफ द पुली आल्सो व्हेन रोटेशनल मोशन कम्स, सर तब सोच रहे थे बहुत ज्यादा टाइम है, चलेगा, कुछ होने नहीं वाला है सर, और अभी जाके डर लग रहा है सर, अगला चैप्टर रोटेशनल ही है।
it actually happens the next stage as well. For you, first year you feel first year moved very. Now you feel we just blinked and first year is almost coming to an end.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Exactly.
1 minute सुन लीजिए आप. This is human by nature and every one of you will feel it. Next year will move much faster. Much faster. You blink, you will not know. Remember this word of mine. Before you realize what is happening, you are ready for the JEE entrance examination. The next year will move such fast, so very fast. Learning also process will increase the same way. आप 1 मिनट ठंडे दिमाग से एनालाइज कीजिए अपने आप को. In your school, you spent 15 years, they say 11 years. Fourth stand, I mean, when you are 4 years old, you might have joined the play school, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
11 years आप स्कूल में जितना सीखे, compare it with what you learnt in this 1 year.
हाँ सर,
But compare ही नहीं कर सकते.
Completely small.
We
बैठ के
can't
शांति
compare.
से आज शाम को एक बार एनालाइज कीजिए. 11 years में how much did I learn? इस एक साल में कितना सीखा मैं? I will tell you what you learn next year will be 10 times more than what you learned this year.
सर नेक्स्ट ईयर मतलब दिस ईयर ओनली सर।
Magnitude
This
मतलब
coming year,
different.
after rotation is over, you will be senior batch. Now you are Janet batch, right?
One, then
Yes,
one.
sir.
Janet as NAPJC 1, 2, 3 we used to call. N. N means new Andheri Senior Science College. Original abbreviations were NAPJC. New. Now from after rotation you will become old APJC. Now Janet, they'll keep it as it is because your batch is a combination of not just Andheri students but other centers. Hence they called it some Janet, some new names.
सर बट सर टाइम पता ही नहीं जा रहा है कि दिन कभी मतलब खत्म हो रहा है.
It will be much faster this coming year. That's what I'm telling you. Get mentally prepared. Much faster. At least now you had a lot of breathing space. Next year, no breathing space.
Sir, when do you think the offline classes will start? Because now we are vaccinated also.
यस सर, अभी तो केस
And
बहुत कम
second
है.
dose of vaccination you have to take for them to go open.
हाँ अभी
Right
फरवरी
now,
में हो
government regulations are up to February 15th. Why they gave up to February 15th? Because by then second dose also will be done. I
Yes.
think your second dose is in the first week of February. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
For
don't
sure.
have the
Once you
variable
people are
mass procedure.
vaccinated, it becomes legally open for you to come to the classes.
Sir, Covaxin के बाद just 28 days, but Covishield के बाद 84 days they take for second dose.
कोविशील्ड आप में से किसी को नहीं दिया ना यार. All below
No,
18
sir.
are
Yes,
being
all
Only
Covaxin.
Covaxin.
वैक्सीन
नहीं सर,
February
Covishield के लिए
second week तक आप लोगों को पूरा वैक्सीनेशन हो जानी चाहिए.
सर नहीं सर, बेचारे को लगता है कोविशील्ड लग गया कैसे तो, और अभी उसे रुकना पड़ेगा 84 डेज के लिए।
जिसको कोविशील्ड लग गया यार, कौन दिया आपको? कहाँ पर मिला आपको कोविशील्ड?
सर वो स्पुतनिक वो सब नहीं मिल रहा था चिल्ड्रन के लिए?
नहीं
नहीं भाई, खाली कोवैक्सीन ही दिखा रहा था.
खाली Covaxin है.
ऑनलाइन ही तो है. Now officially this completes conservation of momentum. Now before
Thank
I
you, sir.
start HCV's doubts, I am keen on solving the first subjective question of the assignment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, sir.
कोई
Yes, sir.
मतलब वाट
Yes,
लग
sir,
गई.
कर
फर्स्ट
लो.
क्वेश्चन में ही वाट
तो
लग
फर्स्ट
गई.
क्वेश्चन तो ला दिया.
इसीलिए I want to discuss the first question so that I give you some momentum. First
Yes,
question
sir,
of the
please.
assignment. I
Yes, sir,
want
do
to-
it. Yes, sir.
So thank you.
Now you will help me out with the values. There are two key concepts in that particular question. This mass कितने का है? Or I'll open the assignment.
So we'll open with
So 5 kg.
You have the, this is 5 kg, right? It's moving with an initial velocity of
you.
2 meter per second.
नमूने देखो. It is moving with the initial velocity of, मैंने यू लिखा, आप लोग भी यू बोलोगे. हाँ, क्वेश्चन देखा है आप लोगों ने?
क्या है सर?
Yes,
देखा है सर, वैल्यूज याद नहीं।
वैल्यूज याद नहीं तो मैं क्या पूछ रहा हूँ? यू मैं भी लिख सकता हूँ. Why will I ask you? 2 meters per second. Now delta m का mass 1 kg if I am right.
Yes, sir. 1 kg.
Yes, sir.
Falling
Yes.
with the
10 meter per
velocity
second.
10 meter per
10
second.
meter per
10
second.
second.
10 meters per second and new value is given as
0.4.
0.4.
0.4. Now, what is the first concept that he wants you to apply? First concept is frictional force generated by an impulsive normal force will be impulsive.
Impulsive. Oh, अच्छा, हाँ, sir.
I repeat this statement, ध्यान से सुनिए. Normal frictional force अगर एक body ऐसा है, so if this normal force is non-impulsive, friction will be non-impulsive.
Yes, sir.
But if this normal force is impulsive, this friction will be impulsive.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You all agree with that?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Something is falling from a height and sticking to it. So what happens here is, when it falls and comes to rest, there is an impulse on delta m. Impulse on delta m. J is in the upward direction. How much is that? 1 into 10 minus 0.
Yes, sir.
So I will say J is 10 Newton second on delta m. On the 5 kg mass, there will be equal J of 10 Newton second. So this normal impulsive force will be 10 Newton second. Frictional impulse, integral of mu n delta t, integral of mu n delta t, integral of mu into j, because this and this will be balancing out each other. Integral of 0.4 into j is 10. 4 Newton second is frictional impulse. ये बड़ा बारीकी से देखिए. This is where the key cat of the problem comes. I just move the camera to be sure that you are able to see the whole. All of you listen carefully. Firstly, impulse on delta m was not a big deal. 1 into 10 minus 0 was the impulse on delta m in the upward direction. Reaction of that impulse on 5 kg is in downward direction. Till here, is it clear to all?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Now, ध्यान से सुनिए. यहाँ का नॉर्मल फोर्स जब यहाँ का ले रहे हो, mg नहीं लिया, भूल गए.
So वो mg और normal वाला या पहले वाला
वो
normal force cancels out.
This normal force must be impulsive normal force. mg is not an impulsive normal force.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
An impulsive force will be balanced by only an impulsive force. This J on 5 kg block will be balanced by an impulsive normal force. mg doesn't come into picture. So how massive the body is doesn't matter. If your blow in the downward direction is strong enough, the blow in the upward direction will be equally strong enough. When did we learn this?
Before we were
Before we
No,
were born.
The movie we have learned.
Variable mass.
No, in the movie, massive guys. He was hitting downward, they were bouncing upward. Their mass doesn't matter. People were actually mocking. Such a huge, massive guy, how will he bounce upwards? They don't know impulse. How massive 5 kg was does not matter for me when it comes to this normal force of 10 Newton second. It depends on with what force are you striking the 5 kg mass. An impulsive force can only balance an impulsive force. mg is a non-impulsive force. So Rohit Shetty knew
Physics लेकिन body non-rigid है.
right? He knew. Only mistake he committed is they were not
Rigid body.
That's the only mistake, but we can excuse him for that. Right? So this frictional force is because of this impulsive normal force. Mu n delta t. N delta t will be equal to this j. This n delta t will be equal to this j. because the 5 kg block is not bouncing. So this impulsive and this impulsive force are balancing each other. Mu j, you have got 4 Newton second. So this 4 Newton second is acting backward.
Yes, sir.
Come to the second stage. Because of 4 Newton second will be equal to the change in momentum. Now this is 6 kg. 6 kg into V minus 5 kg into 2. How much will be this velocity? 4 plus 10 divided by 6 will be 14 by 6, 7 by 3 meters per second. I have a feeling I have gone wrong with the simplification. New velocity is 7 by 3 meters per second. I don't remember 7 by 3. Well, people, are you having a look at the simplification? सुन रहे हो भी आप लोग?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, sir, सुन
Yes,
रहे हैं।
sir.
So this delta P will be change in momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum.
सर करेक्ट है सिंप्लीफिकेशन तो
Wrong है. एक नेगेटिव साइन गलत लिया. सो रहे हो सबके सब. गधे हो. हाँ.
The minus 4 Newton second.
पूरे
हाँ.
-4 न्यूटन
डेल्टा P का डायरेक्शन
हाँ.
छोड़ दिया आपने. ओ वाह. ओ भाई साहब, final momentum is in which direction? 6V is in the forward direction. 5 into 2 is in the
हाँ
forward
सर अरे
direction. ये नेगेटिव डायरेक्शन डालना है कि नहीं?
हाँ हाँ सर
आना है।
तो फिर this is
6 by
10
1
minus
meter
4 is 6V. V is 1
1
meter per second. See, such a wonderful number you're getting. 1 meter per second. This is the first part of the problem. Till here, everybody clear with?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Now something else is happening. Now this is traveling by some distance, time delta t. V dash is equal to u dash minus a into delta. What is u dash? 1 meter per second. U dash is v.
Yes.
I'll call it v, I don't mind. 1 meter per second minus mu g into delta. 1 minus 4. 0.4 into 10 into delta. This is v dash. After time delta t, because of friction, its velocity comes down to v dash. At this instant, a second time such a body falls and it comes to rest. This is 1 kg falling with 10 meters per second and it comes to rest. Now what is the frictional impulse? Mu n delta, right? This will be 0.4 mu integral n delta. See, this impulse I already calculated as 10. So 0.4 into 10 with a negative sign will be equal to final momentum is 0 minus initial momentum is 6 v dash. 4 is equal to 6. V dash is 1 minus 4 into delta t.
So
It comes to rest. It comes to rest. It is initially moving with 6 V dash. Finally, it comes to rest. Now, what is this V dash? From here till here, because of friction, the velocity decreased from 1 to a value called 1 minus 4 delta t. But when the second time the block falls, it comes to rest. The impulsive force is sufficient to produce a change in momentum, and hence 4 by 6 is 1 minus 4 into delta t. 4 into delta t is 1 minus 2 by 3. 1 by 12 seconds is delta t. I think there is a misprint there in that as 1 by 2. It is 1 by 12 as the answer. 3 important concepts to be analyzed here. First concept. Impulsive force produces an impulsive normal force produces an impulsive
Frictional force.
Second concept, an impulsive force will be balanced by another impulsive force only. Non-impulsive forces will not come into the picture.
Yes.
Right? Third point, I forgot what the third point is. Temporarily remember the third point to be taking directions for delta P whenever you are using that particular equation.
So,
So after this, you are taking HCV route.
What is the time now?
120.
120.
120, sir.
मैं एक और problem कर देंगे यार subjective का.
So, can we ask someone to assign a doubt teacher for us one of these days then?
We have got
So for
doubt
booklet,
tomorrow.
Sir,
Tomorrow we have a doubt lecture, right?
So tomorrow you'll do HCV and assignment,
Yes,
now.
sir.
Yeah, HCV and assignment I do tomorrow. See, listen. Cool your feet. There is a reason for it. If we finish off the doubts, we'll have to start rotation. So cool. Tomorrow I'll finish HCV and assignment. Next week का doubt lecture होगा उसमें booklet कर देंगे.
ठीक है सर.
सर वरना आप अच्छे
Okay.
प्रॉब्लम्स दे देना हर एक मतलब
आप बोले थे
chapter
आपके
में।
पास और एक असाइनमेंट
Didn't get you.
सर आपने बोला था
वो
और
जो-
एक असाइनमेंट भेजोगे आप इन लोग को अभी चाहिए.
अभी
हाँ
before
सर.
the MT I will know.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू
Doesn't make
सर
sense.
वरना सर वरना हर एक चैप्टर में से आप अच्छे अच्छे सम्स दे सकते हैं हमें तो प्रैक्टिस भी हो
So
जाएगा
send now that
और
500 questions.
100 problems are given. You can try that. If not, Saturday, I think we have one practice test.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
yes
Saturday.
sir yes
I think that will be surplus.
So what will be the time window उसके लिए?
सर एक डाउट था
They leave the message on the group that on the new portal they are conducting now. Panisha said they have
Thank you
the
sir.
portal, right?
So
They will give a
finally,
message.
Thank you. So can you 1 second? So can you just look at question number 55? It's a very small clarification I needed. So in this assignment only.
1 second.
सर तब तक एक छोटा सा
Hey, खोलने दो 1 second.
Sir,
हाँ बोलो 55 का staircase problem बोलो.
So over here we have to assume that the particle reaches its maximum height when it's directly above the edge of the stair only, right?
Staircase is each step height h width that a ball strikes the center point of the step with a velocity v making an angle of theta with vertical. It rebounds and strikes the center point of the next step. Once again it rebounds. No such assumption.
So because in the diagram they have made those arrows that
Diagram में arrows दिया हुआ है, but there is no reason for us to make that assumption that the maximum height comes exactly at that edge.
okay, so fine. Then I'll solve it again, वापस.
Sir, over here, acceleration should be 4/6.
कहाँ पे?
जो आपने अभी सॉल्व किया है.
क्या 4/6 वो कहाँ पर है?
4/6 कैसे होगा?
Mu into g is the acceleration. See, when it is moving from here to here, it is only under the influence of friction. Mu is 0.4, g is 10. 4/6 कैसा होगा? By the grace of God, mu into g 0.4 into 10 is 4.
Sir,
क्यों डिवाइड करूं?
sir,
तूने
what I did
mu
was
mg ले लिया और mu g by m ले लिया तूने. भाई साहब mu mg upon m, I cancelled out m and I directly took acceleration. What you are taking as mu g by m, mass divide किया आपने.
sorry, sir.
डायमेंशनली को आंसर वेरीफाई कर लो मुझे बताने से पहले.
सर एक डाउट था
बोलो.
सर पेपर में इंटीजर टाइप में सर अभी सिग्निफिकेंट फिगर्स कंसीडर करने हैं कि नहीं
See, as a rule, you should.
सर क्योंकि जब से एमटी खत्म हुआ तब से मतलब इंटीजर में पॉइंट वाले ही आंसर थे और उसमें सिग्निफिकेंट फिगर्स भी कंसिडर नहीं किए थे, तो एमटी में करे या ना करे?
Temporarily follow what you were doing previously. I'll have a discussion with the paper setter and I'll keep you informed next week.
Okay, sir.
Sir, this Saturday
Sir,
test COM will be there.
हाँ सर
Up
सिर्फ
to
COM है
COM.
ना?
Collisions will not be up to COM.
और सर एमटी
And
में पूरा
empty
चैप्टर?
portion.
MT का ही बोल रहा हूँ. COM, Center of Mass.
Well, for this
Okay,
weekend also COM ना ये weekend जो test
This
है.
He was
Saturday
asking
test.
for the TWT.
Topic wise test and MT is only up to C1. NA Genet 4, 5, 6 batches में collisions चल रहा है. Today I dealt with or yesterday I dealt with one part of collisions, linear collisions. Tomorrow एक और lecture है उसमें. वो batch बहुत पीछे चल रहा है. I just started off with that batch.
सर तो मतलब चेंज टीचर हुआ हम लोग के मतलब जीजेसीएच सर भी 4 5 6
Faculty ले रहा था, he's down with COVID. He's COVID positive, so they had to change the timetable.
ओके
Sir, if they are so behind, why do they get so many holidays compared to us?
Positive? I didn't get you.
अभी संडे और ट्यूसडे को क्लासेस रखे थे क्या?
थे क्लासेस थे जेनिथ 4.
So will this continue the 5 days a week classes or not?
5 days a week they will not. They'll slightly decrease that to 5 days a week रहेगा. 7 days will not stay, but 5 days a week you'll have.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye sir, thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, can you
Sir,
help me
I would